never, ever, 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 ever pick someone up on the side of the road. Common sense. Hitcher, released in 1986 and is directed by Robert Harmon, who is also behind such films like China Lake, Eyes of an Angel, Nowhere to Run, and Highwaymen. And this film is starring Rutger Hauer, C. Thomas Howell, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. And the reason why we're talking about the Hitcher today is because it was a PayPal recommendation/donation from one of my biggest contributors on this channel, Autumn Blood. You strike again, and I gotta say, I love your recommendations because they're so out there and films that I have never heard of before, and really this week we're getting to a lot of your PayPal donations. We're going to be continuing this on Wednesday, but if any of you out there want to be like Autumn Blood and help support this channel and help support me, you can make a PayPal donation by clicking on the donate button on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do, and if you have a movie that you really want me to review for you and give you a shout on the channel, you can attach your movie with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and publish my review of it as quickly as I possibly can. Jim Halsey is an innocent young man who is taking a road trip all the way to San Diego. But the little idiot makes the worst decision of his entire life by picking up a hitchhiker in the middle of the desert. And as we quickly come to find out, this hitchhiker is one psychopathic son of a bitch. And after evading being killed by the hitchhiker follows this young man everywhere he goes and makes his life a living hell. And I am not kidding. You talk about making one decision in your life that just completely unravels everything and sends your life down the toilet. It's this movie. One stupid, small, seemingly innocent decision to help someone out turns out to be the worst decision he ever made. Part of me is feeling, oh, you poor little guy. The other part of me is saying, you dumbass. You're driving through the middle of the desert, and there's someone out there walking. Don't you ask yourself these questions of, hey, how did you get out there? And then when you drive by an abandoned car, and he forces you to keep going after that, wouldn't you think that, hey, maybe he had something to do with it? And Rutger Hauer is amazing. I feel like when he was alive, I didn't see a lot of his films. Of course, I saw like the big staples of his career, like Blade Runner. I also know him from Batman Begins. And I saw that he was in this movie, but I guess I just wasn't thinking anything of this and wasn't expecting much from this film, and it turned out to be quite freaking good. And Hauer is amazing. He's one creepy SOB, and I'm sensing a theme from Autumn Blood's recommendations. You seem to be sending me a lot of these films about serial killers and people who are really good at killing other people. Thanks. Because let's face it, this hitchhiker, Rutger Hauer, is pretty damn good at killing people. In particularly cops, which you would think is like the hardest thing to get away with and a big no-no, but apparently he's able to just drive by and shoot him up, and it all gets pinned on this kid. And this kid is just running and driving through the desert, unable to escape the rest of the police force, because they all think that this skinny, tiny, innocent little kid is the big serial killer that's been wreaking havoc in the Texas desert. But like I said, I wasn't expecting anything from this movie, because I'm not a really big fan of slasher films, and looking at the poster reminded me a lot of Friday the 13th, and I don't really care for that movie or those movies or that character. So seeing this, I was like, oh, okay, it's just gonna be another slasher guy who just likes going around and killing people, which he does, but this actually turned out to be a kind of a coming-of-age tale. Not that you have to be chased down by a serial killer and go around threatening to kill cops and other adults to become an adult yourself. I'm not saying that. But for this character's particular journey in this film, it's what he needs to go through. And the frustrating thing is that he didn't have to go through all of that. He was just driving down the road after he evaded the capture from this hitchhiker. He's still going down the road, and all of a sudden this family car comes around and he sees that the hitchhiker is in their car in the backseat with the kids. He could have just let them go, and he could just kept on driving, but no, there is this hero side of him that wanted to say, hey, no, you gotta get out of that car because he's gonna kill you, and then he gets into an accident, and then things just kind of snowball from there. Well, actually, this is the desert, West Texas, I should have said, like, sandstorm, out of control. It's also really nice too, looking at C. Thomas Howell at the start of this movie and where he's at. He reminds me of any, teenage actor from the 80s, from like college films or coming of age films there, and he's giving the typical performance of a young man. Not a care in the world, talking a lot of shit, but then again, going through this whole ordeal with Rutger Hauer just toying with him, toying with his food. And it's almost like he wants this kid to grow up to kill him because he's tired of going around and killing just random people in the desert. I was getting that sense. Maybe I'm reaching there, but to me it seemed like, hey, I want to die and I'm looking for that right person to kill me, the right adversary to finally be my match and end me. And it's shocking that it's this kid. As the film concluded, I could swear like the intention of this movie was to be a prequel for Mad Max. I believe Mad Max came out a couple of years before this film's release. This could have easily taken place in Australia, and this could be where we get the origin story of Mad Max having this life and having it being ripped away from people who are corrupted by the system or just corrupted in the head, and all of a sudden we have our road warrior who's just traveling the desert, helping people along as he sees fit. I'm sticking by that. This film was called The Hitcher, but this could really be called Mad Max The Hitcher. I was surprisingly shocked by this film. Is there corny acting and corny dialogue in here? Yeah, but to me, I guess that's just the 80s in general, and that's something to accept with an 80s action thriller suspense film like this. But you take that aside, this is a pretty deep film. It's a coming-of-age tale, and it's an end-of-a-life film for these two characters, these opposing forces that are kind of similar in certain ways, and I'm pleasantly surprised. This film was awesome. I'm gonna give The Hitcher 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I pick which movie I'm gonna be watching next. And like I said before, I have another PayPal recommendation from Autumn Blood that she sent in. She recommended the film Dipan, which I believe is how you say it. Dipan. I don't think you pronounce the H. I'm terrible with languages, so I could be completely wrong on that. I'm assuming that this is a non-English film, a foreign film, so I like branching out and expanding my horizons when it comes to cinema, so we'll check out Dipan next time. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, you can make a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do, just attach your movie recommendation with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, give you a shout out on the channel, and get my review of it published as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, have you seen The Hitcher? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before, and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell so you'll know the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Dipan. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.